Hey there guys, so today we are here at the Davis Mountains. This is the Davis Mountain State Park, and this is a place that's pretty near and dear to me. I spend quite a bit of time out here, but hopefully...
Mr. Dillon tried to get some fancy camera work going.
I'm sure it'll look great. Anyway, today we're out here to see if we can find anything cool. I know there's a particularly pretty species of beetle out here that I did work on back when I was in college, and so hopefully we'll be able to find some of those guys here today. Very, very pretty. But the weather here is a little bit nicer than it is in the surrounding area. About 10 degrees cooler, so it's a very nice place. And we are on what's called the Primitive Trail right now. So we are going to be kind of following Limpia Creek, which right now, as you might have seen, is pretty dry. But in later months, it actually flows for a good chunk of time. So hopefully, we'll be able to find some cool things out here. Alrighty, guys, let's see what we can find. Alrighty, so this little guy right here, I guess I should say girl, doing some hard work. This is a dung beetle, and as name might suggest, it's rolling some dung. It's going to take this to a location where it's going to bury it, and then it's going to lay some eggs so that its little babies get to feed off of it. And so the cycle begins again. I want to show you something that is really near and dear to my heart. It's a very, very cool species of insect here. And so a little bit about myself is I worked on these for a master's project at Angelo State. And so these guys are called Woods jewel scarabs. And as hopefully you're able to see in that light, these are just some of the most absolutely gorgeous beetles. And I could tell you way more than you ever wanted to know, but we don't have that kind of time. So these guys are one of two species of jewel scarab found out in Texas. If we're really lucky, we'll find the other species, which is the glorious jewel scarab, which in my opinion is not as glorious as this guy. But Woods jewel scarab here, you'll see they have these beautiful blue tarsi. They have little blue hooks, whoops, little blue hooks for feet. And they're not very good flyers. So he is trying to take off right now, but they really kind of bumble. And so they're not very strong flyers, but this species is really easy to tell because it does have those blue feet. And out of the 4 species we have, one of them has purple legs, which is about as close as you can get. And so these guys, as you can see when they're on their plants here, they really kind of don't blend in very well. But this tree that they're on is called a little walnut. And they do usually have little walnuts, but this one doesn't seem to have any at the moment. But these are really cool species you can find out here in Texas. They are restricted to the mountains, so you really won't find them anywhere else. So this is a pretty neat find, especially here in the daytime. This is a Vinegar Rune, Mastigoproctus giganteus. And so why these guys are called Vinegar Runes is because at the very end of their abdomen, they have a small pygidium, which allows them to spray concentrated acetic acid. Now, if this happens to get into your eyes or your nose, it's going to burn pretty bad, but pretty neat arachnid for sure. Hey guys, so we left the Davis Mountain State Park. It was a little dry there. We did find a couple things, which was pretty cool. I mean, I love those beetles, and Vinegar Runes are always a cool thing to find. But now we went a little bit higher elevation, and so we are actually on one of the nature preserves properties. And so this is the Madera Canyon Trail. We probably won't hike the entire thing because it does go quite a little ways up top over there. But we're going to walk around and see if we happen to see anything about. Alrighty, hopefully we have a little bit more luck. Alrighty. So this is a little Ramalaid, a little lubber. He will get a lot larger than this. This is our largest type of grasshoppers. But a fun fact about them, other than he's pooping on me right now, is that these guys don't have wings that function. So they just kind of, they might suggest, they lubber around, they jump. They're kind of big and chunky.
Like a landlubber.
Okay. Alrighty guys, so this one's for my wife who happened to do her master's research on pocket gophers. This mound of dirt right here, I know it's a very impressive mound of dirt. This is, I'm going to have to look up what species it is or ask her a little bit later, but this is one of the gopher species found up here in the Davis Mountains, which is really impressive because this is a pretty solid rock area, but they do find some dirt, and so these guys are actually all over the place here. Probably won't see one out and about, and they're usually not active this time of year, but once the fall comes around, you'll start to see a lot of fresh mounds, especially with all the rain and stuff.
So, Mr. Maddox, what is the difference between finding a gopher hole or gopher mound like this one and telling the difference between it and a pile of dirt?
So I guess the best way is to really just stare at a lot of gopher mounds, but most gophers have kind of a kidney-shaped mound to them.
Okay.
This one's not exactly kidney-shaped, but the fact that the dirt is a little bit wetter than everywhere around it, and it's been pushed up, tells us that there's probably, and the fact that I've seen a ton of gopher holes everywhere, tells us that this is probably a relatively fresh gopher mound.
Okay.
Hey there guys, so we are getting ready to head out. We're leaving the Davis Mountains. You can kind of see they're a little bit in the background now on the horizon. Didn't find as much as we had hoped for. It's still pretty dry out here. I thought it got a little bit of rain, and I know what you guys are asking, and yes, I did change my shirt. I got very, very sweaty in the other one, so I had to change something a little less wet. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you guys next time, and hopefully we'll be somewhere as beautiful as the Davis Mountains. We only showed you really kind of like the tip of the iceberg, just a couple areas. It's a great place to come out to. The weather's usually a little bit more fair up here, and it is truly just a beautiful place, and a lot of it you can see from your vehicle. You don't have to hike any crazy trails, but there are some nice trails to hike if you'd like. Alrighty guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.